Hello guys, so we are continuing with the equations and inequalities. So the last time we did basically the revision and we did the completion of the square, right? So everything that we'll be doing in this chapter is just basically solving x in different methods, using different methods. So since we completed the square and you said you understand, today we'll be using the quadratic formula, and then I'll also try to do the substitution. Then from there, we'll do finding the equation and we'll do nature of roots on the next video, right? So guys, please try to be quick when watching the videos and then get back to me as soon as you can so that we are a little bit faster, right? So the quadratic formula simply allows you to solve for x or to find the solution easier and faster, right? So it's not always possible to solve a quadratic equation by factorization, and it takes a long time to complete the squares. You saw that on the previous video. So the method of completing the square provides a way to derive a formula that can be used to solve any quadratic equation. So the nice thing about this quadratic equation is that you can solve any quadratic equation. So you don't have to know how to derive the formula. But what I want you to know is just that the formula is derived from the standard form of a trinomial, right? It's derived from the standard form of the trinomial. So what I'm basically saying is that if you were to take this this equation and complete a square, you would get something like that. I don't know to if you were to complete a square here, this will be the final answer. So this is our quadratic formula. You must know this, it's very important. So it's negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, this 2 minus 4ac should be greater than 0 or equal to 0 for the roots to be real. Right? We are still going to do nature of roots on the next few units, probably on the next chapter, on the next video, right? So if what is under the square root is greater than or equal to 0, the nature of roots or those roots are real. But anything less than 0, those are non-real roots. For now, just know that we'll dive more on the next video. But for now, just know that if maybe you substitute, so where will you be getting this A, the B, and the C? You'll be getting it from the standard form. So meaning always when they give you a trinomial, you must write it in the standard form, right? If they give you something like 2x plus 7x squared minus, or it's equal to 2, you must first write this in standard form, right? So you write it in this form, 7x squared plus 2x. Then you take this 2 to that side, and then minus 2 is equal to 0. And from here, you can substitute, because all that we want from this is getting the value of A, the value of B, and the value of C. So always after writing that it in standard form, you will get a clear direction as to what is A. A, you can see in this case it will be 7, B in this case would be 2, and C in this case would be negative 2. So you always take it with its sign. And then from there, it will be easier for you to use this formula because you'll be just be substituting, right? So just don't forget that here we have plus minus. So this plus minus, it means you have both plus and minus. It means that x will be, this is the same as saying x is equal to negative b plus b squared minus 4ac, which is square root all over 2a, or x is equal to negative b minus. So this plus minus is saying that this can be plus or this can be minus, right? B squared minus 4ac, and then the whole of this over 2a. So that's basically that plus minus serves. It serves their purpose. So this one is easy. I won't dwell much on this one. I'll just do 2 or 1 example, and then we move on because it's basically substituting, right? So let's assume that they give you this equation to say 2x squared plus 3x, it's equal to 7, right? So obviously, the first thing that you would do, I told you, would be to write it in standard form. So when you write it in standard form, it will be 2x plus 3x minus 7, because you're taking this 7 to the other side, and then it will be equal to 0. So now you are done with the first step of writing it in its standard form. Then from here, what do? You write the equation down so that you get your marks, and you show the person who will be marking your paper what you are doing, right? For AC, and then the whole of this, the whole of that all over 2a. Then from there, what you're doing, you're basically substituting. What is b? If we go back here, the value of a, you can see that a is 2, b is 3, and c is negative 7. So where we see b, we put 2. So it would be negative in brackets, we put 2, right? And then plus minus, and you have plus minus 2 in brackets squared minus 4. What is the value of a? The value of a, the value of, because let me erase the value of this. Sorry. X is equal to negative, the value of b is 3, right? So it's 3 in brackets plus minus 3 squared minus 4. The value of a is 2. The value of c is negative 7, right? At this point, don't say that this negative 7 is wrong, because we said it can be negative. We said the whole thing under the square root can be negative, right? All of this all over 2 multiplied by a, which is in this case is 2. So from here, you basically solve, right? Basically solve. So this will be negative 3 plus minus, what is 3 squared? 3 squared is 9, right? And then this negative and this negative will give you a positive number. So 7 multiplied by 2, that's 14. And then 14 multiplied by 4, that is, what is 14 multiplied by 4? That is, and then we still have to subtract 9 from there. So 14 multiplied by 4 is 56. And then remember that we are having a plus now. So it's something like we have 9, that 3 squared is 9. So this negative multiplied by this negative will give you a positive. So we're saying this is plus. So we are saying 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 7, that will give you 56. So 9 plus 56, that is 65. So it means all in all, under the square root, we have 65. All of these over 4, right? And from there, it's easier. It's easier. So what you're simply doing from here, you're just dividing it, right? So from there, you're done solving for x. You're simply going to say x is equal to -3 plus square root of 65 all over 4, or x is equal to -3 minus square root of 65 all over 4. So those are the two real roots. They are real. Why are we saying they are real? Because the number that is within the square root is positive. I hope that makes sense, guys. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. It's that easy. And then let me show you one example whereby the roots would be non-real. Right? So let's assume they give you something like x squared minus 5x plus 8. And then they tell you that this is f at x. Right? We're still going to do functions. They tell you that this is f at x, and then they say find the roots of the function. Right? So for you to find the roots of the function, the first thing that you have to do is to obviously by determining the roots of the function, we have to let f at x be 0, right? So f at x should be 0. It should be 0. So meaning this is the same as x squared minus 5x plus 8 is equal to 0. So then we can find the roots from here, right? And from here, since it's in standard form, obviously the value of a here is 1, because we have an invisible 1 here. And the value of b is -5. Remember, we take them with their signs. And then the value of c is 8. So you write the equation. So it's negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac. All of this over 2a. Then from there, what you do is simply substitution, right? So it's x, it's equal to -5 plus minus b squared is -5 squared minus 4. The value of a is 1, the value of c is 8. Don't forget that square root. All of this over 2 multiplied by the value of a, which is 1, right? And simply from here, simply calculate -1 multiplied by -5, that is +5, plus minus this one 5 squared, that is 25, right? And then 9 multiplied by 8, that is 72, right? So it's 25 minus 72. No, it's not. This is 4. So it's 32. 8 multiplied by 4, that's 32, right? So it's 25 minus 32, which will give you something like -7. So we have something like that, right? All over 2. So already from here, you can tell that the roots will be non-real. Why are we saying that the roots will be non-real? Because what is inside the square root is less than 0, right? It's less than 0. So if we were to, when they say the roots are non-real, basically the roots are basically x values. So if we are saying the roots are non-real, we are saying that the roots don't exist. So if we were to draw a graph of this function, if we were to draw a graph of this function, it shouldn't touch the x-axis. It shouldn't touch the x-axis. So it will be something like that. Why? Because it doesn't have the roots. In this case, I told you that the roots are simply your x values. So it means it wouldn't touch the x axis. And how do we know if it will be going upwards? Because the value of a is greater than 0, it's positive. If you still remember from last year, but we're going to do functions again this year, we'll revise, so you'll remember. Right? So it's that easy. It's that easy. And then what I want you to do, I simply want you to go and use the quadratic formula and solve these following equations, right? 3x squared plus x minus 4 is equal to 0. That's the first one. The second one is x squared minus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then the third one is 2x squared plus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. And then the fourth one, just do this one, 2p into 2p plus 1 is equal to 2. So in this case, when you have p, instead of you using x on the quadratic formula, you use p. So it would be p is equal to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac, all of this all over 2. So you would change this because you can't use x as you're solving for p. So here it's basically the variable you're solving for. So it doesn't change what is on the right, but it changes the variable here. So I want you to do this for form using the quadratic formula, right? So, and then let's go to substitution. I want us to go to substitution. So in substitution, basically substitution, always as you know substitution, it's always trying to make things easier for you. So it is often useful to make a substitution for a repeated expression in a quadratic equation. Reason being, this makes the equation simpler and much easier to solve. So always when you say substitution, when you're solving for x using substitution, we are basically trying to locate a repeated expression, right? And then after finding that repeated expression, you are substituting it with a particular variable, but we like using k, right? So let's say, for example, they give you something like x squared minus 2x minus 3 all over x squared minus 2x is equal to 2. So from here already you can see that we have something that is repeated. We have x squared minus 2, x squared minus 2. So already you can say let x squared minus 2 be k. You're telling the examiner, you get them up, right? So it means that wherever I see x squared minus 12, I can put k minus 3 over k. This is equal to 2. So this is much more simpler and cleaner than that. So we can solve this one. How do we solve this one? Easy. Obviously, if you're given something like this and you asked to solve for x, to solve for k, I mean to say, the first thing that we would have to do is to ensure that you have only one k variable on the left-hand side and everything goes to the right. So how can you do that? We can multiply by k because we want to eliminate this. We want to eliminate that 3 over k. So the easiest way to do that is to multiply by k. Because we know when we multiply by k, this is the same as k over 1. So this will cancel that. We'll be left with 3. Right? So obviously what you're doing on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. So when we multiply by k this side, we must also multiply by k on the right hand side. So if we multiply this by k, it will be k squared minus, if we multiply this by k, we know already that it will be 3. And then if we multiply that 2 by k, it will be 2k. So then we write this in a standard form. It will be k squared minus 2k, because you are taking the 2 to this side, minus 3, that will be equal to 0. So it's in a standard form. Then from here, we simply use difference of 2 squares, right? From here, you simply use difference of 2 squares, and then you find the answer. So from there, what we simply do, let me erase this. So from there, open your brackets, and then the factors of k, since it has a coefficient which is 1, it's k and k. And then the sign of the last term, which in this case is negative 3, it's telling us this, that the signs won't be the same, so it will be plus and minus. So the factors of 3 that will give us negative 2, it's only when 3 is negative and 1 is positive. So negative 3 plus 1, that will give us negative 2. Then from there, it means that it's k plus 1 is equal to 0, or k minus 3 is equal to 0. So this one is k is equal to negative 1, or k is equal to 3. But remember that our k is x squared minus 2x. So then you have to substitute back. Right, let me erase everything. So you have to substitute back. Remember that the real reason why we substituted into k was to make things easier. So we'll start with this one. So that one is the same as x squared minus 2x, because we're just substituting k back into its original form, that is equal to negative 1. So we take that negative 1 to that side, that is the same as negative 2 as x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this will solve this one also. So this would be x, that would be x. Check the sign of the last term is positive. Tells you the signs are the same, which signs are the same? Negative. So it's negative, and the factors of 1 is only 1 and 1. So it means x is equal to negative. From here, you'd say x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0, which is this, since they are the same thing, this would give you, someone would see, write it like this from here, since it's the same thing. And then from here, they would introduce the square root on both sides. So remember also, when you're removing the square root, the answer would be x minus 1 is equal to plus minus 0. So we know that plus minus 0 makes no difference. So x will be 1. So we already know that x will be 1, right? And then what you simply do from there, you do the same with this one. So you'd substitute this one also. So you'd say x squared minus 2x is equal to 3, right? So we take this to that side, x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So from there, what you simply do, it's x and x. The signs are not the same, so it's positive and negative. Factors of 3, that would give you minus 2, that would be negative 3 plus 1. So x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 1, or x is equal to 3. So normally this would have about 4 answers, 2 from this one, 2 from that one. So already you have 2D, but we have one here because they are the same, right? So I won't do more of that one, guys, because it's easy, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. So then let me, unless if you didn't understand that, I'll give you exercises to do this one. And then other thing, guys, for physics, I'm not sure if you understood the one of the document that the reason why I sent you that document was for you to understand that one of drawing of using the what is this thing of using the measurements and everything to calculate the resultant force, right? So if you understood that, then you have to go to Newton's laws. But if you didn't understand, then I'll try to explain it using online. I don't know how, but I'll try because it's like we are a bit back with physics. We haven't done a lot, right? So please let me know, guys. So with this one, the exercises that I want you to do for me, the first one that I want you to do for me, let's assume it's still substitution, right? So it's negative 24, it's equal to 10 into x squared plus 5x plus x squared plus 5x squared. So that's the first one. Second one, it's x squared minus 2x, all of this squared minus 8, it's equal to 7 x squared minus 2x. And then number 3, just do this one, x squared plus 3x minus 56 all over x plus 3, that is x plus 3, guys, no? Equal to 26. So let me write this one clearly. Then the last one you can do, I want it to be a bit tricky. Do this one. Yeah, that would be your homework, and let me know when you're done, guys. That's it from me.